The Bahraini desert plays host to round 2 of the 2018 Formula One World Championship, where McLaren and Force India are among several teams making changes to their cars after Melbourne. Max Verstappen suffered technical issues early on.
Max, mode 1 please, and box. Mode 1 and box.
The Dutchman, who's only finished 1 of the last 3 Bahrain Grand Prix, helping push his stricken Red Bull back to the garage. Lance Stroll took his Williams for a spin at turn 8, as did Charles Leclerc in the Sauber. Carlos Sainz was very unhappy with his Renault's performance.
Yeah, the car is an absolute mess. Very, very difficult to drive.
The Haas team looked to make amends for their disastrous pit stops in Melbourne, but there was no repeat of the threaded wheel nut issues this time around. The Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo proved fastest of the bunch, the Australian P1 with a respectable time of 1 minute 31.060. Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas was P2, some 0.3 of a second off the pace, with Ferrari's Kimi Räikkönen close behind. Sebastian Vettel was P4 in the other Ferrari, and defending world champion Lewis Hamilton P5, some 1.3 seconds back from top spot. The lights were on as second practice got underway in Bahrain. Max Verstappen's Red Bull seemed to have recovered from its first session technical problems, the Dutchman aiming to match his teammate Daniel Ricciardo's earlier P1 form. He started well, sitting P2 behind Kimi Räikkönen, only for Ricciardo to leapfrog him moments later. Marcus Ericsson caught a curb at turn 3, sending his Sauber across the gravel. And Lewis Hamilton took his Mercedes off course at turn 1. Max Verstappen also ran his Red Bull a little wide, but having missed almost all of the first session, he was keen to get some kilometres under his belt.
Can I have another lap?
Yeah, if you really want it, Max.
Yeah, I just need a few more laps to understand.
Valtteri Bottas got in the way of Daniel Ricciardo at the exit of turn 4, the Finn claiming his innocence.
How did I block his lap? I didn't get any information. What a time.
Sergei Sirotkin went for a spin in the middle sector, the Russian pushing his Williams to the limit. Into the last half hour of track time, and Verstappen had more trouble keeping his car on course, as did Carlos Sainz, locking up and running wide. Sitting P1, Raikkonen's Ferrari suffered the same pit stop problem which plagued both Haas cars in Melbourne, a loose front right wheel forcing the Finn to pull over and take a scooter ride back to the paddock. However, his lead went unchallenged in the final minutes. Teammate Sebastian Vettel was behind him by just over 1/100th of a second. The two Mercedes of Bottas and Hamilton were 3rd and 4th fastest respectively. And both Red Bulls filled P5 and P6, 9/10 off the pace. It was a relatively quiet start to final practice in Bahrain. A few teams undertook installation laps, and Pierre Gasly practiced his starts. The biggest news story of the day, Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton has been handed a 5-place grid penalty for changing his gearbox. Sebastian Vettel didn't set a time on his first attempt, a loose barge board forcing him back to the Ferrari garage.
A board, I have a piece of the side pod that is loose.
A slow-moving Toro Rosso forced defending world champion Lewis Hamilton wide on a flying lap. Sergei Sirotkin also had trouble keeping his Williams in line. And Nico Hülkenberg locked up, pushing his Renault wide. Kimi Räikkönen posted the first sub-1 minute 30 lap at the session's 3/4 point to go P1. Both Mercedes drivers had issues late on, Valtteri Bottas locking up and flat-spotting his tyres, and Lewis Hamilton finding the final turn tricky. Kimi Räikkönen narrowly avoided colliding with Red Bull's Max Verstappen exiting the pit lane.
Verstappen almost took me out.
Verstappen came closest to Räikkönen's time, just over 5/10 behind, and narrowly ahead of his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton and Bottas were P4 and P6 respectively, split by Sebastian Vettel.